The term Fourth Industrial Revolution describes technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, 3D printing, and the Internet of Things, and offers huge potential to transform and realign the South African economy and society. Sanibonani, Dumelang, hello. My name is Musima Pale and I'm your host for CSIR Connect. Today we are coming to you from a CSIR media briefing focusing on CSIR youth who are making waves in 4IR development and capacity in the South African healthcare system. Let's go see if we can chat to some of these experts. Sipho, welcome to CSIR Connect.
Thank you, Musima.
So you are currently working on the optical-based biosensor for the detection of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Please tell us about this technology. What is it, how does it operate, and how is it contributing to South Africa's readiness in 4IR capacity on a global scale?
So this technology is optical based, so it uses light to detect TB in DNA or nucleic acid containing samples. And basically it's a miniaturized optical based biosensor, so it's for use in a point of care setting. Basically this technology is similar to what other high income countries, what they use in their healthcare system. So they're already enjoying the benefits of having this 4IR kinds of technologies in their healthcare systems. And when you look at it and you bring it to South Africa, we want to also have that, to give people the access to that form of healthcare services so that they can be diagnosed with TB if they have or if they don't have TB rapidly and at a point of care setting where they don't need to wait several weeks or they don't need to come back later to find out whether they have TB or not.
And I think this will be very much beneficial to our populations in the rural areas. They don't have to wait for blood to be transferred to different hospitals. Thank you so much for joining us, Sipho.
Thank you, Musima.
Mkhape, welcome to CSIR Connect.
Thank you very much, Musima, for hosting me today.
Let's get into your field of expertise. You work on machine learning powered diagnostics. What is this technology and how will it address health inequalities and resource limitations in the South African healthcare system?
Currently, what we are doing, we are working on the machine learning powered diagnostic tools. So what we are doing, we are developing the models that can detect various diseases. Like we are targeting on different kind of diseases that we can diagnose. How this machine learning works is that we diagnose these diseases based on the mathematical functions. You see, the mathematics and the statistical functions. So what we are trying to do is those models, they can detect based on what they conclude. So the main important thing is just to detect this disease with the high accuracy. So what we are trying to do actually is to reduce the human errors when they're doing the diagnosis. You know, you can have a human errors when you're doing the diagnosis and all of that. So the main point here is we want to automate that diagnosis. Imagine if you are diagnosing about 1,000 people. And then what we can do, what we are currently at now is we can diagnose about 1,000 people on a certain disease within seconds, for example. So imagine a human can do that. It's going to be human errors, a lot of human errors. So we want to reduce those human errors and then automate that process. So now we know we're having the health inequalities. So, and then just trying to balance that with maybe say in a rural areas is a big challenge. Like we don't have machineries and all of that. So how we are tackling that is that we want to use the machinery that are there in a developed countries, for example. So what we do, we go to those machineries, they do the diagnosis, we get all of those results. Then we take the results, we come in, we develop a model, then we teach that model to diagnose those results from those developing countries. And then after it has learned with the higher accuracy, of course, we perform the testing, and then afterwards we take it and we're going to test it on the rural areas, for example. So it's more like developing a replication of those machines.
Very interesting, and you sound very passionate about this project, Mkhape. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Pumlani, welcome to CSIR Connect.
Thank you for having me, Musina.
So you are a PhD student in the CSIR's manufacturing cluster. What is the focus of your PhD and how will this contribute to the technology you are currently working on at the CSIR?
Well, I am a PhD candidate in medical virology. And so what I'm trying to do is, viruses, because my degree is in medical virology, so viruses have a tendency to mutate. Like SARS-CoV-2, what happened is we had these different variants of this virus, And so these variants all had different mutations. Different variants will hamper the development of vaccines. So these pharmaceutical companies were strained from these variants, and then so the vaccines that were developing will not work against these new variants of the SARS-CoV-2. But these variants are really, in actual fact, all just different because of mutations. So what I'm working on is to detect these mutations, and we believe that detecting these mutations will help these pharmaceutical companies as well when developing vaccines, because then when you develop a vaccine, it needs to be specific to the specific target. And then so this helps with developing vaccines that can work in this case.
Thank you so much for joining us, Pumlani.
Thanks for having me.
The fourth industrial revolution is transforming the way we live, work, and interact, and represents a massive change in the way in which the world functions. And we are excited to witness the CSIR at the fore of these groundbreaking developments. Head over to www.csir.co.za to learn more about our 4IR innovations. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.